5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Scarf Bergara. You know what we said the other week, that you were never late? I'm sure we said that.
I was literally on time. I was dead on time then.
On time is late, early is on time. I say
I'm not having that. We've discussed this
before.
before.
Yeah,
It was boring last time. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, I like your t-shirt. I'm liking that, mate. That's good.
That's good, isn't it? Just that's what I was doing. It just came.
Oh, is that why you're late? Come on.
Well, no, I've also ordered an Indian, so I've had my starter, so I'll be able to have my main after this.
Right, got you. That's a pretty good evening then, isn't it? Yeah, I like it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it goes over the next hour first.
Right. Have you done an intro, or should we just move on?
No, crack on.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like usual format tonight, because we're in that thing like now the season's finished. It's we're playing games at like 12:30 in the afternoon. I don't think there's any room for normality anymore.
It's funny you should say that, because with the new football deal with Sky, I think there's going to be more playing in the afternoon, playing in the early evening, Fridays, Thursdays, Wednesdays, you name it. They're going to have us. We're their bitch now, but I wouldn't have it any other way, because we're in the Football League and that's all that matters. Right. Anyway, tonight it's a bit of a media night tonight, I'm pleased to say, because we've got our own media man, Liam Richardson's joining us in a second. We'll get him out in a second, as they say. We've got Will Moorcroft, who's the media executive lead from Salford City. He does all the match commentary and all of the Salford media with a team over there. So he's going to join us about 7:30. So that'll be good. We're going to talk about the Hartlepool game just gone on Monday, which was a 12:30 kickoff. Yeah, done my research. We're going to talk about the game coming up, which is Saturday, 7:45 kickoff.
That's correct.
Done my research. And we're going to talk about the Danny Bergara statue as well. We'll have a bit of a chat about that video that came out with Ash Williams, Steve Howson.
I've not watched.
I have, so we can talk about that. And we will do it getting the rezas. So we need something. So Liam I don't think Liam knows about this, but I'm sure he's a media mogul, isn't he? He's a media savvy guy, so he can just choose something. Yeah, well, I'll explain it to him, obviously, and he can choose something.
Can't argue with that, mate.
How does that sound?
I'm fully on board. Fully on board.
Good. Okay. So, any admin before we start?
No. There's
okay.
a short answer to that.
Okay. You seem very unprepared, so I'll come up with some admin.
Yeah, it's admin. Yeah, these t-shirts on our Etsy.
Yeah, there you go. So we've got t-shirts on Etsy. I'm going to be doing more designs very soon. And we've still got mugs that you can order. So if you go onto our website, scarfbergara.co.uk, there's pictures, designs of the mugs, and I will do some more mug designs. Give us some ideas. John Bilsby gave me a good idea for a t-shirt.
I saw that. It's very good.
Morning.
Speaking of mugs, I saw Rob McCloy got a bonus mug. Are there any of them bonus mugs left? Asking for a friend.
You want to get
I left mine behind.
Oh, well, Jesus Christ! Let's take that offline, shall we?
We'll talk about it next week, because I'll be gone as soon as this finishes, because I'll be getting my biryani.
Right, fair enough.
I'll be away with you. I'm having my biryani. Not interested. I'll edit the pod while I'm doing it. Don't worry. I'll put it on Patreon.
That's fine. That's fine. Talking of Patreon, if you want to help support the podcast, join our Patreon. £3 a month plus VAT helps support the pod, and you get discount on the merch, which is pretty good, and priority on tickets for any live events that we're going to do. We're probably going to do at least one during the summer, more if we can. And yeah, it just helps us with the running costs. That is that's what that does. And plus, there's one more thing as well, admin, that escapes me. What is it now? We've done the mugs, we've done the t-shirts, we've done the Patreon, haven't we? That sounds about right. Yeah.
They won't it.
Just show everybody a t-shirt one more time for the audio listeners. It's an Alafi t-shirt in the style of Oasis, which Tanto likes himself. I got a message of somebody that
I
messaged
was
him.
worried.
Yeah, he does like it. Yes. So there we go. Right, shall we get our guest out? Shall we get Liam out and talk all things county?
Hi guys, how you doing?
You all right?
How's it going?
Right, yeah, all right.
It's a change from this time last year, isn't it? When you came on, Liam, and it was just full on breakdownsville.
I think you had a tire on your head by that point, and so yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah.
A little bit different.
That breakdown had been coming for months. To be fair, I regret nothing.
Well, we might be doing it again in a few weeks. You never know.
Yeah. I tell you what, before we get into the Salford match in the playoffs, and obviously we will bring Will in about 20 minutes at half-past. Let's talk about Monday and the day first. Let's go to chronologically. The unveiling of the statue. I mean, the Danny Bergara statue. How good is that?
Very good, isn't it?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, you worry going into it, don't you? Because you think of like the statues of Cristiano Ronaldo and the like. But I know that they'd put a lot of work into it and worked really closely with the family to get it really good. And I think Hannah's done a great job in terms of getting that likeness there, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a few people have mentioned, I saw online, that they've seen the horror stories of the old Ronaldo statue. I mean, they're not all bad, are they? That's just one that turned out bad and got a lot of press, but it really does look like him, and it's a really good achievement, I think. I don't know why, but I said this on Monday to a couple of mates. I don't know why, but I expected it to be bigger. And they were like, why? It's Danny Bergara, he was tiny. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I don't know. I expected it to be some sort of like Taj Mahal type style, massive, like.
Still bigger than John Kerr.
Just once again, confirmation that you're absolutely mental, Russ.
Get it from you, mate. That's what it's working with you for 9 years.
It's catching now, isn't it?
Yeah. What was that about John Kieran then, Liam?
I say it's still bigger than John Kieran, isn't it? Yeah.
Even without the plinth.
Yeah.
I like it. It's really good. Really good. Comments are coming in already. I see Ryan's online. I'm just going to block him in a second. Someone said we've got more subscribers than we've got Salford tickets. I mean, that's factually correct. I'm sure we'll talk about that later. We'll talk about that later. I wasn't there for the unveiling. Liam, Nick, were you? I know Nick, you were. Liam, were you there for the unveiling? I
missed the start of it because I was dealing with Sky Sports at the time, but managed to make it for the curtain being pulled back. I don't know if you were there, Nick. You might be able to offer more insight than me.
Yeah, really good turnout considering I'd spent all last week convincing myself that the weather forecast was going to be wrong. What with sitting in the railway end and everything, it was like no, and then woke up Monday morning and it was horrible. So very, very good turnout. Good. I think everyone was impressed. Good to see the sculptor Hannah Stewart had come and the Bergara family were all there to see it as well. Yeah, I think everyone was made up with it. I think there's loads of people after the game having the pictures taken with it as well.
Yeah, it's been a real passion project for the co-op as well. You speak to John Giles and Pete Towie as well. They've put a lot of work. It was a pipe dream for them at the start, and obviously 2 years of fundraising and stuff. So it was a special moment for them, and obviously a special moment for the family as well. So I think it just set the tone really for the day in terms of just building up to the excitement of the day. I know it didn't pan out okay, but in terms of going into the game, I think there was we were all on a real high, and I think the statue really contributed to that.
Yeah, it did feel like a special day all around. Having to get out of the house early, we had the statue unveiling, and then just the fact that it was I mean, kind of slightly moving on to the game. Result wise, it's we can sit here and say, well, we did enough to win it, but came up against the keeper in good form. But we probably wouldn't have been saying that if Tranmere had got an equaliser or something. But
as I say, like, there was all that excitement going into it. There was the display beforehand, and then in true county style, 5 minutes into the Tranmere game, that was that, wasn't it? So, it's one of them, innit? You're almost glad that Tranmere didn't equalise in the end, as you say, because that really would have put a downer on the day going into the playoffs. So,
yeah, coming out of the ground, it just felt very somber. Walking back to the pub, I was like, I was a bit down about it.
Some people have booked Tuesday off work. So some of us had, and then thought, oh, actually, I might as well go in and have Sunday off. I had loads of people making that decision on the way out the ground, saying, "Oh, I might as well go and work tomorrow now."
Yeah.
So, I was expecting to still be on Castle Street now. I thought Tranmere might do us a favour, but can't have it all. But we've succeeded in our aim for the season, which was getting in the playoffs. So even, I mean, I know that's not how the players and staff will be looking at it, but whatever we're doing, we've done well this season. Even if we get knocked out by Salford in the playoffs, it's been a successful season. A few little tweaks and go again next season.
Yeah, I think especially when you consider the first 11 games, when you look at the form since then, we've been pretty well clear at the top. We've got the longest unbeaten home record in the division. We've been really good away from home. There has been a lot of metrics that would suggest that outside of those first 11 games, we've probably been the best team in the league. We've timed it too shortly in terms of getting into the top three. I guess in the cold light of day, we spent 120 hours in the top three this season. Northampton will probably feel that they deserved it, and fair play to them, because they had to deal with a hell of a lot of injuries as well through the back end of the season. So you've got to credit them for getting over the line, I guess.
Yeah. And they lost their captain from last season to us, didn't they?
Fraser, yeah.
Fraser. So it's a great achievement for them. And if you think, I was thinking about it from their point of view, and I never feel sorry for other teams. But could you imagine if we'd have beat them again for the second, and they'd have been in the playoffs on goal difference, perhaps for the second season running? I mean, that's just crap luck in it. I mean, if that happens to you, so.
Especially the manner in which they lost out last year. Obviously, Bristol Rovers winning 7-0 and you're missing out on goals scored. That was the one thing, the hope that I was clinging to throughout the week, in terms of that must have left some scars in terms of in the back of their minds, but obviously not to be.
Yeah, I was thinking that from a fan perspective as well. Their fans, it felt like they were shitting it more than we were, because a repeat could happen to them again. But yeah, I'm not going to congratulate them because they beat us at the end of the day. But yeah, it's just
they won't be watching to hear it anyway, will they? So.
No, but it's just one of them, innit? I mean, yeah, I just felt a bit deflated coming out. Maybe it's because I couldn't celebrate and I just had to have a pint and go home. I don't know. But it just felt a bit flat coming out of the ground. And I mean, if we go on to the game itself, their keeper, I mean, he had an absolute belter of a match, didn't he?
Well, apart from the flap.
The flap. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
Which was not. I'm not having that as a disallowed goal. I was right in front of us. That was. It was just ridiculous. Like, referee gave it, linesman gave it, and then as soon as he was getting shouted at from two sides.
Yeah.
That was it. Changed his mind. Yeah.
I mean, he hadn't played since January either. I mean, he was dropped in January as a result of dropping like clanger after clanger after clanger every week. I mean, he looked like he'd never played in goal when we went there and won 5-0. But yeah, I mean, he was unbelievable, wasn't he? As you say, apart from the goal, he was, the one from Tanto in the first half on the rebound as well. Just, you don't want to say one of them days, because at the end of the day, better finishing, it ends up in the back of the net. But at the same time, like, he was on a one-man mission, wasn't he? Yeah. Penalty just summed it up at the end.
Yeah, you get that from time to time. I agree. I don't think the goal should have got ruled out. But when we scored it, I did a half-hearted celebration because I thought he's going to give that, and then was surprised that he didn't, because the keepers get loads of protection all the time.
And I think the only thing that annoyed me was obviously he didn't give it initially, and neither did the linesman until he then got surrounded by the Hartlepool players. Obviously, had the Hartlepool fans behind him, and then it's almost like he changed his mind. He didn't have the courage to do it in the first place, and he's kind of gone, yeah, okay, let's. That was the only thing that I found a bit frustrating, but again, it wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day. So
no, nice first penalty from Camps. Not so much second, but I'd put it down to a good save. I think he hit it well enough, the second one. Probably a good height for the keeper, as they say, as you commentators say, don't you? On air.
We certainly do, yeah. It's one of them as well that you think it can work both ways. He's already scored one, so he's got to take the second. Or I think if you're taking a penalty twice in a game against the same keeper and he's in the game of his life, Paddy's come on the pitch, maybe you give it to him. But hindsight's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So
I'll be honest, Paddy's penalties shit me up as well. He's got a very good record. They shit me up. Put your foot through it, man.
It's one of them. You know, when they go in, you look great, but when they don't,
With Paddy's penalties, they're almost bordering on that clown run up that Bruno Fernandes does, aren't they? Like he's going to go and kick another clown in the bum. That kind of run up.
It's all about like just waiting for the goalkeeper to commit in it, but if he doesn't, which happened at Swindon, obviously, then that's what happens. It's a P roller in the end, isn't it? So
it is. Anything more to say on the Hartlepool match? It feels like we are flogging a dead horse to a certain extent because it's done and dusted. We're in the playoffs. Got to deal with that.
I feel like I'm the only one that's I feel like I'm the only one that's kind of like looking forward to the playoffs. Really, everyone around me so like, oh God, no. But it's 2 games away from Wembley. We're 3 games away from promotion. It's it's the first time all season really where it's now in our own hands in terms of it's just about what we do.
Yeah.
But it's going to be talked over the 2 legs. Absolutely, I get that side of it as well. But
and then for it all to be tempered by the ticket. I mean, I think people's with the ticketing, I think people's criticism has been misplaced. I mean, they only have to give us 10%, don't they? And that's 10%.
I get the disappointment because it's 10% of our support, our season ticket holders, let alone the rest of the fans. So there's going to be a lot of people missing out. But I feel like we do the same. We have done the same for the last 2 games.
Exactly.
If we're in their position, it's competitive advantage, isn't it? So. I certainly don't blame Salford for it because, as I say, I think we've done the same for the second leg. So,
it's just competitive advantage. What annoys me slightly is they'll fill the rest of their ground with day trippers, won't they? Because their average gate isn't 5,000 or whatever it is. 10% less of their total capacity. So that's annoying a bit because we would fill it more, but I can see why they've done it. And if the rules are you only have to give 10%, then that's exactly what you should do, regardless of whether you sell yours or not, because it's the playoffs at the end of the day. We are right in the business end of the season, aren't we? So anything you can do to get an advantage, you should.
Yeah, and I guess the argument could be, well, do you look at the rules? Do you treat it like a cup game and give 20%? But on the flip side of that'd mean us giving 2,000 to whoever came to us. So swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, and not that it matters either. I mean, when Hartlepool came to us, they had the 2 blocks at the end, and we had the railway end. It didn't seem to matter that much, did it?
Well, Hartlepool and Rochdale, neither of them sold out in the end after all the whole
the hoo-ha.
Yeah. So it didn't make too much difference in the end. I guess the only way it would have made a difference would be if we had like a Bradford or a Carlisle in the playoffs. Yes. That would have been a different story.
Yeah, absolutely. Look at us talking about attendances.
Attendances in playoffs.
Yeah, I noticed we were second in the highest average away attendance table. Saw that today. The final table behind Bradford as it goes.
Do you think it's quite poetic that it's coming down to Salford that we've got to play for a place in the final after they got on our tits quite a bit back in non-league? after they were one of the one of the low points of non-league would have been like losing to Salford, and then we both
This is it.
going third place in League One.
We've spent 11 years trying to get back in the Football League, get in the playoffs, and it's a National League North fixture, isn't it? So
yeah.
It's like
Effectively,
full of them.
Yeah.
This league's full of them. It's ridiculous.
Like we got promoted in the first 2 games with Barrow and Stevenage. It's like we never left.
Yeah, and we had Harrogate in the cup as well, did we?
Yeah.
The first 3 matches.
Yeah, peak non-league.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
From your point of view, you know,
has anyone confirmed who was on?
Sorry, Nick, go on.
Who did the Sky coverage on? Who was the Sky pundit? Because we discussed it last week. Who we thought it might be. Who did it for us on Monday? Is it Ashley Williams?
No, so there was no pundit at the ground. The pundits were at the Northampton game, and they kind of they'd cut across to us. Right. So in terms of I did the interviews for Sky with the manager for them, because there was no one there, and the commentators were doing it remotely as well. So it'd be different for the playoff. Be different for the playoffs. But for that game, it was more of they were all at Northampton because they were in the driving seat.
Right, makes sense. Yeah.
Who was doing the commentary? Do you know who was commentating our match?
I'm not sure who it was actually, because like I said, they weren't there. I think it's on YouTube, the highlights though. So let's have a look there. But yeah, I'm not sure who it was.
It's important stuff.
As I was saying, from your point of view, from a fan point of view, how do you view the season, regardless of what happens in the playoffs, first year back in the league?
Yeah, well, because we are part of the TalkSport fan network, I got to go on TalkSport with Sam Matterface for 3 weeks at the start of the season just to do a bit of coverage on County. And he said to me,
for 3 weeks continuous. It was
no, it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't like a charity
thing.
Thing.
Move in with him.
Yeah.
Oh, couldn't get anything worse.
And one of the first questions was, what would you be happy with? And I said anything 7th or above, given that we'd moved up from obviously National League and all the signings and things like that. And I've maintained that throughout the season. So for me, finishing 4th is an absolute really good result for me, because it's more than I expected, especially given the start we had as well. So yeah, I think it's been a real success. Anything above 7th is a bonus to me, and if we go up, then happy days. And I'm really sort of relaxed about it, because I know the club want to go up, and obviously that's a given when it gets to the Championship. But even if we have to spend another season in this division, I'm really confident that they'll bolster, they'll invest in the squad again, and it will be top 3 minimum from my expectation perspective. So I think it's been really good. Yeah, been really, really pleased with it.
To me, the season as a whole, it's felt more like 06, 07 and 17, 18 and 2021 rather than the promotion. It's felt more like one of those seasons where we just miss out, where we're not quite there. So if that's how it goes, then so be it. But like you said, Liam, it's in our hands now. For the first time this season, it's actually in our hands, and you never know in these one-off games, do you?
No, and I think going into the season, we were all pretty clear in terms of what the aim was, in terms of we want to aim for promotion, but that was never we have to win promotion. Do you know what I mean? If we win promotion this season, we're ahead of target. You'd look at, obviously Mark came in January 2020 with a 7-year plan. The back end of that season, obviously finished early because of COVID anyway, but that was always seen as a year 0 essentially, because you've not had the time to implement anything. That we were still part-time, we still didn't have the training ground. So going from that summer, this takes us to the end of year 3. So if you go up this year, you've got 4 years and it's 4 cracks at League One if you like to hit that target to get to the Championship. I mean, look, I'm sure they try and do it in 1, but we're ahead of where we need to be at this level, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I'm sure, was it Johnny Vaughan said that on? There was an article that Johnny Vaughan was doing somewhere. I'm sure he said that as well. We're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, we are.
I think in the mirror,
yeah, it was. And it's been a great season. It's just not had that same stress as last year, has it? And that's been the weird thing. Like I was a quivering wreck at the back end of last season, like Chesterfield away. Whereas this year, even like inside the building, it's just all felt a lot calmer. Maybe because it's not been in our hands. Maybe it's because if we miss out, it's not like another season in League Two. Whereas obviously last season it would have been another season in the National League. We've only just this season I've blinked and it's gone. So if in the worst case scenario it's another season in League Two, then it's not the end of the world, is it?
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I do get the feeling though from this season. I know just touching on what Nick said about the pre-season, seasons prior to being promoted. It just feels like this season's there is a bit of a missed opportunity for me, because I feel like we have the players. If we were a bit more clinical in the final third, and we didn't have a bad start, we'd be easily top 3 by now. So there's just that's niggling at the back of my brain.
Yeah, there was obviously that period, like we said at the start of the season, and I think that genuinely did come down to obviously a lot of new players coming in, and okay, maybe we tried to do too much too soon, because obviously that it was a completely different back three that we started at the start of the season. Veet then obviously came in and then went back out, so there wasn't that stability, if you like, and that continuity from last year. But once they started to gel, as I say, like the stats speak for themselves. Like it's not been like last season where we were able to just blitz teams. Like our record against the bottom half of the National League last season, I think we lost to Yeovil and then won the rest of the games.
Yeah.
So you can't be flat track bullies in this league, really. You've just got to be consistent at grinding out results, which is what Orient have done this season.
Yeah, definitely. There's no teams in this division, and Rochdale proved it, and Hartlepool proved it to a certain extent, didn't they? That there's no actual fodder in this league.
No, it's not.
The league below.
But we've played 55 games in all competitions this season, and we've lost by more than one goal once. And that was with 10 men, and we conceded in the last minute the third goal. So against Grimsby, so we're hard to beat. We stay in games, and certainly over a 2-legged semi-final, you'd like to think that would work. QA3 loss on Saturday, but that.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, all the stats point to that as well. I mean, for those that like it, XG. For XG against, all those kind of things, we're either the top of those stat tables or we're second, or we're very near the top. We've got the best goal difference in the division.
As a big stat fan, I knew that. Yeah,
I knew you would do. Best goal difference in the league. Of the 3 teams that are in the playoffs, I think we've, if I'm right in saying, we took 4 points from all 3 of them this season. So we should be confident.
Even our games against the top 3 would have beaten them over 2 legs, each of them. So, that's something to take, I think. But at the same time, it is the playoffs, and it all goes out the window a little bit. But I think we're in safe hands with Dave Challoner, because he's won a playoff, he's lost a playoff, he's won a semi-final, he's lost a semi-final. He's had the whole experience, really. So if anyone knows what it's going to take over the next couple of weeks, then Dave will.
Yeah, I've not done my research this much, but have any of the players been through this before at this level? I'm not quite sure.
Sars has. Paddy's done it in League One. Obviously Fraser out last year. Yeah. Because I think you get experience from losing them as much as you do winning. Sometimes,
of course,
really.
Probably more. So, I would say. Yeah,
absolutely. So, and obviously, people like Ben and Crosby have had the experience in the National League a couple of years ago. Obviously, it's different with the 2 legs, but that knockout feel to it is obviously the same.
Yeah. Yes. So all eyes turn to the game on Saturday. Before we get Will out, just make sure I say that correctly. Can we just have a quick chat about the video that we saw with Ash Williams and Stephen Howson? I'll openly admit on here, I don't like Stephen Howson. I think he's a bit of a bell.
Well, this is why I've not watched it, because you made it clear to me how much you despise him, and I thought, well, if Mr. Happy Go Lucky Russ doesn't like him, then I'm certainly not going to. So I didn't bother
Don't
watching
listen
it.
to what I live your own life, mate. Don't live your life through me. If you want to watch it, watch it. I mean,
But I've had like 35 years of not living my life through you, and it's not worked out for me. So I'm gonna just start doing what you say now. You're my taste maker, Russ.
right. Okay. Smart people copy smart people. I get it.
Yeah, I won't get that far, but yeah.
So I watched it, and I reluctantly watched it, but I actually enjoyed it. I mean, to be fair, it was pretty good. I guess this is this whole Rio Ferdinand thing and the connections they've got with their media company or whatever podcast. Is Rio Ferdinand doing a podcast?
Yeah, he owns the company that do it, and obviously Rio shares the same agent as James Jennings, and who has done some work with some of the companies that Mark owns in the past as well. So that connection's always there. Based on my upbringing, I always try and actively avoid anything with a United connection, but sometimes you've got to get your hands dirty, haven't you?
Yeah,
so,
we'll get on, me and you, Liam. We'll get on.
Yeah,
I'm just glad Rio wasn't doing pranks on Paddy Madden or anything. Remember when he did that before the World Cup, Ferdinand? He did his World Cup wind-ups. And
I didn't see that, no.
Yeah.
Basically, at one point, like a month before the World Cup, David Beckham was running through Moss Side, like trying to get away with some people he thought were trying to rob him. So, cheers, Rio. Nice one. Mr. Shaky Metatarsal is having to run through Moss Side. Great. So I never liked him after that. I couldn't give a shit about his football ability.
What stage do we get knocked out that year?
Yeah, second round, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Second round, yeah. So I'm just trying to bring the lads together. Well, it's not worked, has it, Rio?
Bex was trying to get the early flight home. He was worried he was getting robbed again, wasn't he? So, yeah, going back to the video, I think it was quite good, wasn't it? There was funny moments. Definitely bounced off each other quite well, and Ash, to his credit, like really just loves talking about County. I don't know if you've seen the Forever Being Beautiful videos that we've done for it with Shrunk, and he's obviously in all of them, and he properly gets it. Gets it.
No, it was good. It was good. And I was surprised. But anyway, it was good. What I pick up on though was these wheels that they've got. The little wheels that the fine wheels that they've got for doing things wrong. So they've got a little wheel.
Yes. Sorry. Yeah.
And then if you get there's a choice on there that says you've got to go to the big wheel, and I think that's really, really good.
Listen,
like write a
if you're not
poem or
careful,
something.
Yeah, if you're not careful, it's not just players that can end up on that wheel. Our club set, Alex Cowdy's ended up having to do a few dance-offs once or twice. So yeah, you've
really,
yeah. They'll really give it to you.
That'd be great media if you could get that out. Really would.
Yeah,
that's top stuff.
It's getting them to agree with it.
I know.
Yeah. But there's just that collectiveness about them. Do you know what I mean? There's no like people that are stuck up and like, oh, I don't want to do that. They'll all again get their hands dirty and get mucked in and yeah, they're a real together group.
Yeah, it's good. Who comes up with what the forfeits are?
Coaching staff. Yeah,
right.
Yeah. So Dave, Clint, Yopper, Jake Simpson. It's pretty brutal. Some of them.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it's good.
They should get like a coach who's like that. That's just it. You know, like you have like set piece coaches and stuff like that nowadays. Like
spin the wheel coach.
Have like spin the wheel coach. Yeah, forfeit coach.
That's really good. Yeah, throwing coach.
Some proper sadistic
coach.
bastard.
I like it. Right, shall we get Will out? He's waiting. We've been waiting patiently backstage. That's why we've been careful not to slag off Salford or him or anybody to do with Salford. I'm sure that'll come when he comes on the podcast. Yeah, we'll just do that to his face, shall we? So yeah, we're going to get Will out, and I'll play this video while we do that. If you're watching us on YouTube, please like, share, and subscribe. And for the audio podcast, please rate, review, and recommend us on whatever podcast player you are listening to us on. Cheers, thank you. There we go. Hey, Will.
Let rip.
Let the games commence. So before we start, you two know each other, don't you? I mean, obviously you're in the media. You're in the media bubble, aren't you? So how long have you known each other? Is it Is it a new relationship?
It's
last year, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still blossoming, you know.
Liam did save my hoodie from the last meeting. I managed to leave it in the press box, and Liam let me come and pick it up. So very grateful to you.
This is like the most awkward double date ever now, guys. I'm like in a goose. I'm the third wheel on the wheel of consequences, or whatever it's called in the change. Is it what's it called? The wheel thing in the changing room.
It's just called the big wheel.
It's the big wheel.
Very creative. Yeah.
Call it the wheel of consequences. I'll email.
I'll coin that. Yeah. No problem.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a better name for it. We should get our own wheel because the lads on the Oldham podcast have their wheel, don't they? Their mystery wheel. We should do that.
And as we've learned this year, if we're gonna win that award this time round,
we need to copy them.
Use all their features.
Yes, smart people copy smart people. Say it again. You see, there you go. Will,
I think the episode title sorted, isn't
it? Yeah. How are you all feeling about Saturday? What's the mood in the camp for Saturday?
I think quite excited. Similar to what you guys were saying, it sort of comes into your own hands once you've got through 46 games and you get to where you're at. You know that you're playing a good standard of opposition, and they're the games I think we look forward to more than most. So, yeah, I think we're just excited, looking forward to it. You know, it's the first time that we've finished this high. It's the first time we've got in the League Two playoffs. So, it's all new territory for us now. So, I think there's a bit of fearlessness. I think there is a bit of confidence. So yeah, just looking forward to what should hopefully be a really good couple of ties.
And we spoke on before you came out, although I know you was backstage sort of listening. Liam mentioned about us being year zero at the start of when Mark Stock came in, and we're probably at year 3 now. Have you got that kind of thing at Salford? As Gary Neville and Chris Casper and all that, have they got that? Or are you just happy-go-lucky, see where things take you?
I mean, I know when they first came in, there was this idea of championship in 15 years.
15, right.
Which was roughly one promotion every 2 seasons. So we went straight up the first 2 years. We had 2 years in National North and then 1 year in National. So I think 4 years in League Two sort of levelled out a bit more to sort of where we're at. But I think on review, they've probably realised that it's definitely not going to be anywhere near getting success at that sort of rate. So, I think they'll be happy if we do get the chance to go up. But I think with the project that we're building and the season that we've had, particularly with the way that Neil's influenced and has an effect on the dressing room, I think they'll be quite confident of being able to go again next year if it's not to be our year. So might have been a slight review on that, but we've got a bit of a ceiling now because of all the ground issues that we've had. As you guys all know, and other people, the Peninsula is probably just about League Two and absolutely scraping on League One standards. So, I think a lot rides on what happens with the ground in terms of how far we can go at the moment.
I didn't know there was that about the ground. So what is it about the ground? What, not big enough, or what's?
Yeah, just the standards and the grading. I know that with a few minor changes, we can be just about ready and suitable for League One. But I think certainly with 5,000 capacity, I don't think you can get in the Championship with that ground. So there had been discussions with the council about buying the AJ Bell. We were going to go in with it with Sharks, and then it's just got to be careful what I say. But basically,
don't go in with Sale Sharks; it doesn't go well.
the council aren't playing ball. Let's put it that way. So that sort of hit a bit of a dead end in the water right now.
And your pitch. How's your pitch looking? Because last time we came, oh, is it? Because last time when we came, I mean, I'll openly admit and I'll talk as a fan, it was awful, and you watered it too much. me.
Perfectly.
I'll be honest with you. And then when I saw it on TV a few months later, it looked like it had loads of sand on it. But you're telling me it's much better. That's good. That's good for us.
Yeah, I think we had about 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks without a home game, and amazingly, grass grows when it gets sunnier as well. So, yeah, it is actually in quite good nick now. To be fair, it's still bubbly. It's still got the big slope from one side to the other, but generally, it's in much better nick than it was.
It's probably good
previously.
for you guys as well, because I guess that it's always felt a bit like that pitch has been a hindrance to you this season when you look at your home form against your away form, and certainly the expansive style that you play out from the back. I guess has that been an issue at times?
Yeah, it's small. I think maybe Harrogate. There won't be many who've got a smaller pitch, and you can tell. I think we were second in the away table at the end of the season, and we're mid-lower table in the home table. So it tells you a lot. We do like bigger pitches. We will play better football on bigger pitches. So it's been a hindrance, definitely. And I think looking at this tie over 2 legs, weirdly, I was actually quite happy that we ended up with the away leg second, just because I think Saturday could go against us, but just with the way that we've been on the road, I think we'd be quite confident of coming and actually doing a job at someone else's ground.
That does worry me a bit, because I could see it being a 0-0 in the first leg, and then it's all coming down to the second. That's how it's playing out in the playground of my imagination, anyway.
Yeah, a few people said they reckon it'll be cagey and maybe a bit like the March game in the first leg. But if it is, I think it'll more than make up for it in the second.
Yeah, you're making me nervous now.
You got that sense in the league game at Edgeley Park, though, didn't you? Just 2 good footballing sides going for it. I think, if you guys did get through to the final, then you like you were saying about big pitches. I mean, you'd certainly back yourself at Wembley, wouldn't you?
Yeah, we would. I think ironically, of all people, Charlie probably knows that from when we played Fylde there. No one really expected the way that we turned up and played, and we played really well. And then Papa John's Trophy final a couple of years ago, I'd say we put Portsmouth to the sword. I know it was 0-0, but that was largely due to them having a really good goalkeeper having his day that day. So it's certainly the sort of place that suits us, but we've got to get there first, and I suppose that's a challenge for both of us, because of the 2 ties, I think this is probably the much better semi-final. The one that you might not want to be involved in, but it's certainly going to be the better one to watch over the 2 legs.
Yeah. Do you think the winner of the playoffs will come from our tie?
Yeah, absolutely. We're the 2 teams who go into the playoffs in form. Take away obviously our result on Monday. We still performed well, didn't get the result, but I think we've got 6 wins in the last 10. You guys obviously unbeaten 13. The others have only got 1 win in the last 5 each. So, they've sort of limped towards the top 7. You guys have really pushed well this second half of the season, or since, was it October, November sort of time it started to turn. So, I think, like you were saying before, if you had that from the start, I think you'd have been top 3 quite clearly.
Yeah, I think we've only lost once in how many games is it, Liam? 20. Once in 20. And for me personally, I know I said I was getting worried a minute ago. I mean, I'm really confident about the game at Salford because for everything we've just said, I think we'll sneak a slender lead at Salford, and then probably I think it'll be a repeat of probably the league games. I think we'll get a draw at our place. Because I can see you coming to our place and sort of upsetting us again, like you did last time. Because I think you remember we were pretty. I think it felt like we were better than you, but that wonder strike earned the point, which is fair enough because it was a goal deserving of a point. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, I think we had the trepidation, didn't we, coming to you? I wasn't too confident that we'd get anything out of it, but I think it was a good game. That I think both sides actually had shackles on, whereas I think definitely when we come to yours next week, both sides will have every single shackle off. So that's why I think that'll be the better of the game. I think the first one on Saturday, I think you're right. I think you guys might have a slender lead to take, or it might be quite a cagey draw. And then it just sets up nicely to go to yours. So it's a weird one, but it's a good one in a way in terms of that. I think, what game was it? Was it Forest Green, Newport a couple of years ago? The semi-finals. It wasn't a great first leg, but the second leg was something like 5-4, and just a really good end-to-end, blow-to-blow game. So I think it'll be quite similar to that.
What kickoff time annoys you the most? 7:45 or 12:30?
7:45, just because you're hanging around all day. I think certainly from the player's perspective, you're sitting around. What do? You're twiddling your thumbs. I suppose 12:30 gets it out of the way. I'm quite a purist. I like 3 o'clock kickoff. That's the Saturday football time. End of.
I can't come to terms.
Some of the 1 o'clocks weren't too bad. I've got to say, when we had them in the COVID season, some of them weren't horrendous. When we were away at Gillingham in December, and that got moved to an early kickoff because of all the World Cup malarkey, which didn't end up happening. That wasn't too bad, but
I think we've done all right for kickoff times, haven't we, this season? I don't remember any being completely crap.
I wasn't a fan of Monday's 12:30 though. No. 12:30 is a bit better, I think, but 12:30 not for me.
But had we gone up on Monday, you've then got the whole day afterwards.
This is it.
Double-edged sword, isn't it?
Yeah. So
for the drinkers,
one of me and Will will be on Castle Street in a couple of weeks' time, all day. So as long as it's not extra time, we'll be all right.
One will be celebrating, one will be commiserating.
Yeah. No, it should be good. It should be good. And we're gonna try and get together next week, aren't we, to preview the second leg. Don't know when we're gonna do that. We had a bit of an off-air chat about that, which went all right. I don't really know what else to say about the match. I'm starting to. I don't know. I just don't. I've not been in this position for a long time since 2000.
How are you going to be? How are you watching it, Russ? Are you chancing your arm for a ticket? Or
well, this is it. You see, no, I'm not, because I'm working tomorrow, and I've got a meeting that starts at 10 o'clock that I probably can't get out of. So I'm gonna save myself the trauma, and I'm just gonna resign myself to watching it on the telly, and then obviously I'll have my season ticket seat for me.
Eurovision as well on Saturday. I was already planning to go to Eurovision party, so it's now a 2 TV scenario.
Yeah, and I do like the Eurovision. I really like the Eurovision, and I've got. But County comes in front of the Eurovision, so I'm gonna have to record that clearly.
What was that crazy entry last night?
I
missed one of the 5 guys that looks like Boy George is on a stage with. Is it the Village People and someone else? I can't remember what it was.
I'm in.
Got through.
Yeah. All the quirky ones got through. Yeah. So no, I will be
to Liverpool on Friday.
Well, you are going to Liverpool on Friday.
Let's do it with Eurovision, but I'll see what the line's like for you, Nick.
Good to know.
So a lot of comments coming in that you probably can't see. They're all left bollock saying Eurovision, you weirdo. For fuck's sake. No, I'm prioritising County over the Eurovision, but I do like the Eurovision. Yeah.
If it's possible to do both. 2 tellies, one on each side of the room. That's what we'll be doing. Maybe I'll post a picture with my setup on the socials.
Which sound will you have on?
Well, you don't need sound on Eurovision, do you? So it'll be the sound on County. Entirely.
I like it. Let's continue on to our little feature that we like to end the show on. I say end the show. We've got another 10 minutes or so left yet, but it'll probably take 10 minutes. It's called In the Rezas, or Get in the Rezas. I don't know. Have we settled on the name yet? Get in the Rezas?
Oh, Get in the Rezas. Yeah, I'm putting a little jingle together for it in time for next season.
Right. Okay, so for Will, for you, there's some reservoirs behind EP. So it's basically where I want you to think of something, and Will, we can all do it together. Think of something in football, either at Salford, at County, or anything to do with football that you want to chuck in the reses. Something you don't like about footy that you want to chuck in the reses.
How long have we got? 10 minutes.
Well, yeah. Not long. I really should have prepped you for this, and you, Liam, shouldn't I? But is there anything? Is there anything from the commentary world or the media world you just want to chuck? Anything to do with football that you want to chuck in the reses?
Surely Will would chuck Colchester in there.
I wasn't going to mention Colchester.
I didn't have time to get the clip either. I'm gutted.
No, look, I will throw the club in. It's a trait that's creeping into football. I think there is a lot of deception of officials. I was listening to Real Madrid, not Barcelona, Real Madrid, Man City last night, and Chris Waddle was saying very similar suggestions about the way that Real Madrid were trying to play and deceiving the officials. I think by and large, it's something that's coming into the game that needs to, I think, be stamped down upon and got rid of. Every team's guilty of it. I'm not saying we're saints. I'm not saying one team's particularly guilty, despite the clips that went around. Every team does it, but it's just something I don't like to see. I grew up playing rugby. I know it's a bit of a not nice word to use in football circles, but you have respect for your fans, you have respect for your opponents. You play the game in good faith, and I think I just find it frustrating when teams don't want to play the game, but they want to play the other game or that other side of the game. So I'd throw the dark arts in there. I think I'd be quite happy to see those go. One, I'd throw the side foot rule away. I'd get rid of offsides.
You get rid of offsides?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a controversial one.
Nice talking.
I find it incomprehensible that a team in this age would leave a goal hanger up in the penalty spot. And what you do is you eliminate all these, being offside or he's gone a fraction too early. The one that got me, there was a Jadon Sancho one a couple of months ago, and the summariser there saying, he's got to time his run better. The lad's made a belting 10-yard run. He's left the fullback for dead, and he's half an inch side. What's the player meant to do about that? He's left him. No matter what, if he'd have started 5 yards back, he'd have left him and gone. So I just think it's something that football doesn't need. It causes more issues than I think it actually prevents. So I'll be quite happy to go.
Ollie Crankshaw would have a field day, wouldn't he, with no offsides? He'll be straight back in the team. I know. I guess it's just like no one knows the rule of offside anymore as well. It's so convoluted by VAR at the top level as well, and you're going off fractions. But if you're going off fractions, then you need to look at the exact moment when the ball's left the foot, and that's not an exact art either with the VAR. So I get what your point is. It's just become too far the other way with offside now.
My late granddad was a goalkeeper, and his view was, no matter who it is, as a goalkeeper, everyone's in front of you. Therefore, everyone's influencing your decision, whether you come, go, stay, go left, go right. So, strictly speaking, at that point, everyone's always offside. So,
Interesting. I bet we could do a whole episode on that.
Yeah.
To be quite honest.
This could be a second podcast.
yeah, getting the reses. Yeah, Liam, what about you?
Mine's a bit more tribal, based on something I saw before. Like going back to commentators and pundits, I don't buy this whole let's support the English clubs in Europe and that kind of thing. Like I saw City fans complaining about Rio Ferdinand celebrating. Real Madrid's goal.
Saw that.
He's a United fan, of course. Why? What? I can't, like I say, I can't stand United, and you get some pundits say, "Oh yeah, support the English teams. Let's get behind United." No, I want to see them annihilated every time that they step out onto the pitch. And I just think, listening to Steve McManaman wax lyrical about Chelsea, you don't mean it, Steve. You hate us. You hate Chelsea. It's. I guess that just, yes, mine's a little bit more tribal, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you okay, Nick? Because you're a closet red, aren't you?
No,
Sorry,
I'm not. No. Yeah, my middle name definitely isn't taken from that other City player. Anyway, so maybe that does make me a United fan. Yeah, I hate them all. Bro.
Well, you throw it in the residence.
I agree with
good one, Liam. Yeah, I like it. I like that one, Liam. I do like that one.
I do. Yeah. I'm on squad numbers this week, Ross.
Oh,
I'm getting very annoyed again by Foden and Alexander-Arnold in particular. Because I've looked it up with Alexander-Arnold because his reasoning for still having number 66 is that he just never bothered to get it changed. Well, what does he have to do? All he has to do is just say to the player liaison or whatever, "Oh, I want number 2. I want that free number 2 that's been unavailable for about 3 seasons next year since poor Nathaniel Klein went." Does he think he's not fit to lace Nathaniel Klein's boots? Is that it? I reckon Alexander-Arnold, the best crosser of his generation, he's probably thinking, "Whoa, no, I'm no Nathaniel Klein." And yeah, Foden with number 47, he's like become one of the best number 10s in the world, and he's still number 47. It's just stop it.
How have you coped with Kyle Noyle this season?
Not, Liam. I'll be honest. I've wanted him to fail. I wanted him to fail and for us to just get another player in on loan because it's not. If that's not sorted next season, if we start next season, it's bad enough with Dan Cowan, but at least Dan Cowan was playing at left back. He was the auxiliary left back at the time, so fair enough. I'll let him off. But no. And then City now have moved John Stones. I was watching the Real Madrid game last night. City have moved John Stones into midfield. So if they're going to do that next season, he can't be having number 5. He's not fucking Mikel Essien, is he?
Oh, Zidane.
Nick, is for a centre number or a central midfielder's number?
What's that?
Is number 4 a centre back's number or a central midfielder's number?
Centre midfielder, but I will accept centre back in a back 3. Your David Luiz's is your Liam Hogan's.
I love it.
I like how you were trying to think of famous number 5s and you landed on Michael Essien. That's a shout.
Because you mentioned Chelsea a minute ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, Zidane, it wasn't right with Zidane because Zidane was for France. He's an iconic number 10, and then for him to be wearing number 5.
Horrible.
Madrid. But it gets to a point when what did Michael Owen wear at Madrid? I bet it wasn't number 10, and then he wore number 7 at Man United, which is possibly the biggest disgrace of them all.
Well, he's a disgrace anyway, isn't he? Didn't he say if you can't beat him, join him when he was interviewed after playing for United once?
Yeah, and he also said he's only ever watched 3 films as well. So that's all you need to know about Michael Owen. So he finds them boring. 100 years, over 100 years of cinema, and he just finds films. But he just made a blanket statement that he finds films boring.
It's like not liking music, innit? It's just weird.
Weird. Yeah. Proper oddball behaviour.
Oddball.
Yeah. So yeah, it's players with the incorrect squad numbers. I'll be putting my note under Dave Challoner's door once the retain list is out.
We've already spoke to him about it, didn't we? At the King's Tap last season.
Yeah, but he didn't fucking listen, did he? Because Kyle Noyle's got putting around with number 3 on his back, playing at right wing back.
This is true. Yeah, the only thing he did say to us was if anyone asked for 69, he'd probably just say no. Come on, let's leave it there. Yeah, grow up. Yeah.
I'm going to the current squad would ask for number 69. I don't think they would.
I don't know.
I think Alex Reid is a 69 man. I think Alex Reid would have gone for 69.
No comment.
But yeah, that's it. Stop having stupid squad numbers. It's the longer Trent and Foden go on with those numbers, the more I'm going to get annoyed. And in fact, for this feature, that could be another feature. You can just present me with a list of players and numbers, and I can tell you whether it's acceptable or not.
That sounds a good one. Yeah.
So yeah. This is already spawned.
I'll start with Serie A, shall I?
Putting me off me Biryani, mate. Oh.
So allegedly, have I got time for one more on this?
Well, you've got one more time for what? Getting the rezas?
Yeah, one more squad number anecdote.
Oh, go on. Yeah.
Allegedly, Brandon Asante, he always wanted number 10 when he was with us. And I think when he first came, he had 28, but he couldn't have number 10 when it became available. So we went for 37 because apparently 3 plus 7 equals 10. But so does 3 plus 8. So what? I don't know what the need to change was, if that's true, but that just always tickled me. It was 8 plus 8 equals 10, 3 plus 7 equals 10. Like, if that's true, I think that just proves the point.
I've had it on Football Manager where players have turned down a move to me because I can't give them the number they want. And it's just too powerful nowadays.
Did Asante have a little tiny plus somewhere that you couldn't see in between on the back of the like people do with the car registrations?
He didn't, but he got the number 10 shirt over the summer, and then at the end of the transfer window, signed for West Brom. So he had the number 10 for a whole 2 months. If that
is he number 10 at West Brom or
21?
Not even add up to 10. Bloody idiot.
No.
After all that, though, he is a great lad. He kept his feet around all season, so can't say a bad word about him, but that just makes me laugh.
We're all waiting for your hot take, Ross.
Yeah, my getting the rezas is Dean Lewington. I'm going to be very, very specific about that.
Okay.
Yeah, and I will tie a concrete block around him and chain it to his ankles. I just don't like him for everything that you said, Will, about the dark arts. I remember I was so pleased when they went down MK Dons because I hate them anyway, FC franchise, and he just epitomizes them. But I remember when we were back in the league before we went out, and I can't believe he's been there that long, to be honest. Has he been away from MK Dons and gone back, or has he just been there all the time? I don't know.
Didn't they just bring him out of storage when they're like going close to relegated? It's like, all right, go and get Lewington.
But he was doing all of that dark arts shithousery when we were in the league before, and I hated him then. It's just like I just remember this one time, and it really got me angry. Right, it got me more angry than I probably should care to admit. But it was down at the Cheadle end. He was playing left back, and it was his throw. They were winning 1-0, I think, or something. Or they were a narrow lead. One of our ball boys threw the ball back to him, not like angrily or anything, but he stood there and he just hands by his side and he let it hit him, roll down his body, and then it rolled away. And I just thought, are you really going to play
I'd do.
for like 3 or 4 seconds when you 1-0 up against a team that I think we were already relegated or something? I just thought, yeah, I hate him from that point on. So,
I don't like his dad either because his dad was England assistant under Hodgson, and they went for a little riverboat cruise on the Seine instead of going to scout Iceland.
Right? Yeah, is that what they did? There you go then. So, so I hate his dad as well. Then there you go.
Yeah, I hate you and I hate your dad.
Yeah,
tell him that next season, Ross.
Well, if we stay down, that'll be something, won't it? Because we'll be playing.
It'll be highlight. It'll be worth the season ticket just for that, won't it?
Yeah. Hate him. So he can get in the rezas. There you go.
We'll need to make a list of all these, We need to chronicle this list.
Yeah.
And then we can bury it like a Blue Peter time capsule.
Yeah.
We'll bury it in the foundations of the new railway end.
Let's do that. Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. When we
can we in fact a little bonus getting the rezas.
Oh.
When we do get the builders in to do the stadium redevelopments and everything, can we vet them on what football club they support? Because there's nothing worse than having like Liverpool builders working on Everton's new ground and going, I'm going to bury a shirt
in the concrete.
I'm going to pay £65 for a football shirt and then bury it just because I'm a shit house. That's weirdo behaviour. Yeah, get that in and all.
Which clubs would you ban?
Oh,
all of them.
Okay.
Stockport jobs, Stockport people.
Got to be county fans, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do a shift.
all of the construction folk have got to be county fans. Jesus.
Yeah.
Thing is, someone could engrave SCFC, and you wouldn't know what it means. It could be Sport, it could be Salford, it could be Swansea, it could be Stoke.
Staley
Could be a
Bridge.
cabal of all the above.
Yeah.
Just all of them in a big graffiti group. Oh God! See, don't bother expanding the ground. More trouble than it's worth. Leave it. Let them get piss wet through the railway end every week.
Good stuff. Right, let's wrap it up there. Will, thank you so much for coming on. It's normally at this point.
Us back.
No problem. It's normally at this point that I wish the guests good luck after we played them, but I'm not going to even do that because we play you again, don't we? So, and what I will say is, may the best team win over the 2 legs. There we go. That's nice enough, isn't it?
I'll echo that.
Yeah.
Just hope it's very tight, to be fair.
Yeah. Liam, cheers for coming on, as always.
Always a pleasure, guys.
Nice one. Nick, you all right?
Thanks, Wes. Thanks for having me.
No worries, mate.
Can I go have my biryani now?
You go and enjoy your biryani, and we will speak to everybody later. And we probably won't see you on Saturday. Sorry, God, because not a lot of us are going. But we'll see you the following week.
Do like a Gogglebox type thing, couldn't we?
We could.
Well, let's not, because have you seen the state of the people who do that sort of thing for their team?
No, but we could possibly do a pre-match show. We'll think about something. Right. Cheers, everybody, and speak to you later. Bye.
Bye.
This episode of the Scarf Bergara War was written, recorded, and produced by Russ Johnson and Nick Lee. The music on the opening titles was produced by Dan Johnson. Subscribe wherever you get your content, as well as finding out how to join the TSBW fan club. Check out the links in the description or go to allthews scarfbergarawar.co.uk.